What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusuf Al Saned, and welcome to another episode of the Movie Monday series created by Emily Boone. Please check her channel out. She's a really awesome YouTuber and someone I'm proud to call my friend. The link for her channel is down below in the description box. In this episode, we're going to talk about my top 5 favorite foreign films. As you guys know, I love foreign cinema. It is my second favorite after love stories, and foreign cinema has always been a part of my growing up and watching movies and discovering new films from all across the globe. I really love them, especially French cinema, which is my absolute favorite. Like the last episode of the Movie Monday series, these films will be ranking from number 5 to number 1, and they'll be comprised together as my top 5 favorite foreign films, and this is how the list goes. At number 5, we have Kim Nguyen's 2012 war drama, War Witch, which is a Canadian produced film that's set in Africa during the war that's happening over there, and the story is focused from the point of view of this young girl, and this young girl is someone who's lost her parents, and she's been taken in by this guerrilla force, and how the leader of this guerrilla force adopts her as his war witch, in which she uses her to predict the enemy's tactics and what they're going to do in war. And during her time among this guerrilla force, she meets a young boy named Magician, and this boy Magician is someone that she grows fond of, and he likewise, and they both bond together during their time together, and how they later escape and they form a connection, and how he wants to become her husband, but in order to do so he must get her a chicken, which is a tradition in their culture. And it's a really beautiful story about these two forming a love, and during a time which is just horrible, the war itself and the mass murder that takes place over there. And it's a really powerful story about this young girl's journey and her coming of age. I really love her character so much, as I love the character of Magician. And I absolutely hate the guerrilla general who takes her in, but he's a very complex character as well. And this movie overall is a really great drama that's been written and directed by Kim Nguyen, and something I found a lot to ponder about long after I'm done watching it. At number 4, we have Park Chan-wook's Old Boy. I mentioned Old Boy many times in the past, but Old Boy is basically a 2003 South Korean thriller slash drama. Also has a black comedy aspect to it, which is made by Park Chan-wook, of course. And the story is about this man, Oh Dae-soo, who gets kidnapped and is taken against his will and is kept captive in this building for 15 to 20 years, until finally he breaks out and he wants revenge against the man who had him held captive, only he's not sure who this man is. And this story is so interesting, so engaging, and just heartbreaking, especially near the end of the movie, and how you learn the truth about Oh Dae-soo and his connection with this young girl Mi-do, and why the man who wants to make him suffer so much, this man being Lee Woo-jin. And Lee Woo-jin and Oh Dae-soo have a relation that goes far back when they were in high school together, and also involves Lee Woo-jin's sister. It's a really heartbreaking tale, and it's something that I also found a lot of fun and excitement in. It's a great genre film that has a powerful story at its heart, and it's something I always watch because it's without a doubt my favorite movie by Park Chan-wook. I absolutely love his body of work, but Old Boy will always be my favorite film that he's ever done. At number 3, we have Hani Abu Asad's 2013 Palestinian love story, Omar. Omar is a love story that takes place in Palestine during the Palestine-Israeli conflict, and it tells the story of this man named Omar, who's played by the wonderful Adam Bakri. I really love him so much, who's actually from Palestine. Omar loves this young girl Nadia, who's also a Palestinian native, and she's a high school student. This is a very beautiful love story between the two, and it takes place during the conflict between both the Israeli and the Palestinian, and how Omar is taken in by the Israeli police force, and he's forced to spy on his own own people if he wishes to get out of jail and also to protect Nadia. It's a really powerful love story, and being that I am a sucker for love story, I felt instantly in love with this movie. That and because this is one of the few movies that has my language, which I not only found to be completely accurate, but I really found it to be a very faithful depiction of the Arabic language spoken by my people, my culture. It is without doubt my mother tongue, and I'm so glad to see it portrayed in the most honest and the most justifiable way, because I'm so offended every time I see people, filmmakers specifically, they portray the Arabic language in a very stereotypical way. It's really offensive and disgusting, to be honest. But this story in the hands of Hani Abu Asad, who also made Paradise Now, a really amazing film from many years back, he really does depict Palestine in the most honest way, and he shows both sides of the conflict, more so towards the Palestinian. And it's not so much a war that chooses who's right or who's wrong. It's basically about this love story between Omar and Nadia, and I love this story so much, guys. I mean, Omar and Nadia connect with me so much, especially Omar. He's the type of man I relate to, and this movie is not about religion. It's not about like the conflict and the war between the Palestinians and the Israeli. It's about this love story. The love story, the connection between Nadia and Omar is something I love so much, and this is without doubt one of my favorite love stories ever. At number 2, we have Gareth Evans' Moran Tau. Moran Tau is without doubt one of my favorite martial arts movies ever made, and one of my favorite dramas ever, period. It takes place in Indonesia, and it tells the story of this young man, Yuda, who sets out on his journey to perform the Moran Tau. The Moran Tau being a sort of pilgrimage in which he is to perform the Salat, and how he is to train people in the art of Salat, which is the Indonesian exclusive form of martial arts. And during his pilgrimage, or his Moran Tau in Jakarta, he meets a young girl and her little brother who are going through a lot of issues, especially when their lives are at stake, and how it involves these two brothers who are part of the sex traffic that's going on, and how they're taking young girls and how they're abusing them, and how Yuda has to protect the little girl and her brother at all costs. Yuda is a very compassionate, caring, very proud young man, and he's someone who believes in good. He shows her that there is more good in the world than you know, and that not everyone is bad. It's a really beautiful story that's not so much a martial arts action film. Even the director himself, Gareth Evans, confirmed this to be a drama, unlike the Raid 1 and 2. The Raid 1 and 2 are really amazing action movies, but Moran Tau is at its heart a drama, which just so happens to have martial arts, or rather Salat, at the forefront. I really love this movie so much, guys. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies ever made. It's something I found so much heart in, and I really connected with the character of Yuda and his relationship with both the girl and her little brother. And I also got to see more of Indonesia. I really wish that we would see more films released from Indonesia, because honestly, I love Indonesian culture, and I have friends who are from Indonesia. So it's kind of sad we don't get that many movies from over there, but oh well. And finally, at number 1, we have Abdelatif Keshish's 2013 epic love story, La Vie d'Adele, Chapter 1 et 2, also known as Blue's Warmest Color in other countries. And I talked about this movie many times before, but it's basically a love story about this young 16-year-old high school student, Adele, and she's played by the awesome, ever so lovely, and my favorite actress of all time, Adele Exarchopoulos. I love you, Adele. And the story is about her sexual awakening, and how she discovers her own sexuality and who she wished to be as a person, and her goal to become a teacher, as she loves to be a teacher and to teach other students and to help them become the best they can be. And Adele meets a young artist who's also a university student in Emma, who's played by the always fantastic and gorgeous Leah Seydoux. I really love Leah, and I absolutely love Adele, and when they're together as both Adele and Emma respectively, I fall instantly in love with them, guys. I fall deeply in love with them just as they do each other, and this is a really amazing story, guys. I mean, I could use the word amazing, incredible, or awesome, or beautiful all I want, but this movie, no words can describe just how truly beautiful, breathtaking, and epic it is. I mean, it's a very small film that's about this love story, but a love story that spans through 3 hours of the film duration, and it takes place several years in the lives of both Adele and Emma, and it's a really powerful story of Adele discovering herself and her love with Emma, which is built during the course of the film. And obviously with love there's also fallout, and that also has a huge effect on both the psyche of Emma and Adele, especially Adele. And this movie is very sad, it's very heartbreaking, just like the title suggests, Blue. It may be sad, it may be depressing for some, and the ending may break some people's heart like it did mine the first time I watched it, but this is a movie that every time I see it once a year, I always look back to the time when I first met my beloved dear friend from Nice, France, the one who changed my life forever, just as this movie did, around the same time I met her. Looking back on it, thinking about my dear friend and how I could have been had I not met her, had I not watched this movie, it always reminds me why I love art and why there's always good to be found in this world. I mean, this world is disgusting as hell, but this kind of love that really does show the beauty in what's an ugly world, it's something I really cherish. It provides a feeling of joy which is almost absent in my life. Blue is the Warmest Color, or La Vie d'Adele, is a movie that I not only consider to be my favorite, but it's by far a masterpiece. And guys, I can't find any flaws with this movie. Adele told a very powerful story about these two girls falling in love, their fallout, and how it affects them both. It's not just about their love, however. It's a story that portrays love in all walks of life, and it's something I really do love, guys. It doesn't really matter if you're heterosexual, bisexual, like a gay, lesbian. It does not matter at all what your sexual orientation is, because in the end, love is love, and who you love is up to you. It depends on what's inside here, and not how you perceive people, or how you judge them, or how you assume the way they live their life. And that's my top 5 list of favorite foreign films. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do check out Emily Boone's channel. Also check out my dear friend Rachel Wagner's channel. Both the links for their channels down below in the description box. And if you wish to see more from me, please check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Play series, gaming content, all that kind of good stuff. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios, amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.